Hi, everybody. Welcome back. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing what jobs should I be applying for.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Leena Marie Saleh, the Edtech Guru. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me on this journey, for all the support that you give me, and for following along. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and let's get ready to do this.
Thank you all so much for joining me. I am so excited to break down today's episode with you. Of course, I always like to preface this that I, of course, advocate for teachers to stay in the classroom. I am by no means saying everyone should have a mass exodus, although that's already happening. But I do believe in supporting teachers who are looking to make the move. So today, we're going to be breaking down what jobs you should be applying for. On a recent episode of the Voices of E-Learning, we discussed the stigma around teachers looking to leave the classroom. If we look at other industries, or we just look at the journey of a student itself, we know that many times students and regular industries have made several career switches, and that has been really evident from the pandemic. But the difference is nobody bats an eye. When teachers look to leave the classroom, there's internal pressure, pressure from students, pressures from parents, and pressures from society. It's often looked down upon that teachers are looking to leave, like, oh, you couldn't hack it, you couldn't make it. That's not true. Sometimes you just spread your wings as far as you can go, and sometimes teaching may not bring you the same joy that it had brought you before. It's healthy to make career switches, and it's okay to do so. The amazing thing about teaching is that you could always go back to teaching. Teaching is something that's always going to be a need. So if you're looking to make the move, do what's going to bring you joy. Don't worry about what anyone else is going to say. I know I had imposter syndrome. I used to go to conferences and teachers used to look at me like, oh, you left the classroom? Oh, you must not have been a very good teacher. Whether I was a great teacher, the best teacher, an award-winning teacher, doesn't matter. It was not serving me in the way that it should be, and therefore that wasn't serving my students, my parents, or the community around. So that brings me to today's episode and what we're really going to be breaking down, and that's what jobs should you be applying for? I get this question a lot, and I totally understand why. As teachers, we're not really sure about all of the business, unless you have somebody, we're not really sure about all of the business terms. And unless you have somebody in your life, you don't really have anyone to go to and to ask these questions. I would recommend applying for anything and everything that looks like it's the position that you want. So if you want customer success position, apply for corporate customer success positions and apply for EdTech customer success positions. And I would say the ones that you look at and you're like, oh, I'm not really sure, just apply. And it's good to have the interview practice. And you never know, you may find yourself somewhere where you may never have thought you would be. And that's okay, because sometimes it's just about the support system that's around you and not necessarily the company that you're working for. Most people leave their jobs within 2 to 3 years, and people are not staying at the company as long as they used to. So just that's something to keep in mind too. Now, am I encouraging you to be job jumping all the time? No, but I do want you to know that you don't have to be necessarily locked in if it doesn't work out. When applying for a job, a really good thing to do is to apply for smaller startups. I like to work in smaller startups or work up in startups because you as a teacher are super adaptable and it gives you the opportunity to learn a lot of skills. Not that you don't already have the skills in the classroom, but it gives you an application of the skills in a different way. It's kind of like when you learn how to drive a car and then all of a sudden you start driving an SUV and you have to learn how to back that up and then you move to a truck. Each one's experience is a little bit different, even though the skill set is exactly the same. So just kind of think about that as I like working with startups. I would say also keep an eye out for, there's a lot of ed tech companies and regular companies that always have continuous job postings out. There are a few from when I started years ago that still have job positions open. And I've known a lot of people who have interviewed with them and never gotten the positions at those companies. One, it could just be super highly competitive. Two, it could be that that's a red flag. Kind of like when you're on a dating app and you see the same guy as matched with every single one of your friends. Probably not that extreme, or probably not the best reference, but just the truth there. But what I would like to say is that applying for startups can be really great. So I would say the next step is when you see a company that you want to apply for the position, go ahead and apply. And then as soon as you do, making sure in your matrix where you have your job listings, the company, and kind of just your list of where you're applying for all of your companies, you want to go to LinkedIn and see what the people are, how many people are employed there, and also check out the people's LinkedIn profiles that are there. Sometimes it will kind of give you a pretty good indication if people are happy or unhappy or what they've been up to, those types of things. A story can be told really quickly. Then I always like to look and see how many rounds of funding or evaluations this company has received. Sometimes you can see that the companies or the people in the positions may have bounced around like a ton. Maybe they've been here and then they've been there, and then you can see they used to work there and they've maybe they're only there 2 months and they were only there 3 months, and you start to see a pattern. It's good to look at that. But something like Crunchbase, you can see how many acquisitions they went through. Were they recently acquired? Those are types of questions to ask, not maybe in your first round interview, but closer to like a selection, is understanding the acquisitions, because ed tech companies and just companies in general can go under or they can get acquired, and kind of what's their route to success there. That's just always important. If they recently closed a round of funding, why did they? Is it because they're looking to grow? Kind of what is their mission there? You want to make sure that you're joining a company that's on an upward battle rather than a downhill slope. And then you want to go and search your places like Glassdoor. You can do a quick Google search of the company and you just see reviews and see what previous people have posted. Now, those are not necessarily always true to thumb. So you could always reach out to somebody within that company if you're ready to get hired at the company, and maybe reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you used to work there. Love to hear your insights. I know they're offering me a position. Or you can even ask the hiring manager, is there any way I could talk to someone on the team? I'd love to see if we mesh really well. Who knows? They may shoot you down and they may not. But it's always good to kind of ask those types of questions because it could be red flaggy. And if you're not sure, I recommend reaching out to someone that you trust, someone that you have recently gained as a mentor, or someone that is in a space that's not education, and kind of ask them their feedback and maybe if they have any feelers or any things that they kind of want to look for. I'm lucky because I have a network of people that I know I could really count on, and that I know they actually work in all different types of businesses. And so sometimes I like to reach out to them to just kind of vet and check myself. Is this a good move? Is this not a good move? And I think it's really important to kind of ask those hard questions when you're doing these things. So my advice to you is don't rule anything out. Take all of the interviews, take all of the interview practice, because you'll know when it's a right fit. It feels defeating when you go to these companies and you're like, oh, it's not really. But if you've ever interviewed at teaching jobs and you've ever tried to move around, or maybe you've moved to different districts, you get kind of this gut feeling. And I made a mistake before where I didn't trust it. And my gut feeling was really, really right. And I just took this position. I was locked and loaded and just wasn't a good fit for me. And that's okay. Although all schools are remotely the same, the teams are not and the people are not. And so it's really important to have people that support you in your corner. So my advice to you is apply for any and everything. There is no reason why you shouldn't, and to get as much practice as possible. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this provided value for you. If you're looking for me to cover any topics, please reach out to me on any of our social medias. Remember that you can consume this content anywhere where you get your podcast. And I'm so excited that you've joined me today, and let's get ready to disrupt education together. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. You've made it this far. I appreciate all of your support. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, throw the comments below in the comment section. I'm always looking for new ideas and hot trends, or if you're looking to sponsor our podcast and video episodes, reach out to us on any of our social media channels. And you can even find us anywhere you find your podcasts. Once again, my name's Leena Marie Saleh, the Edtech Guru, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.